Hello.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, doctor.
Yeah, afternoon. All right. Are we set or are we waiting for anybody?
We're not waiting for anybody. Let's just start.
All right. So where did we stop last?
We are done with regression.
We have done. Do we do logistic?
Yes, the data was used as the logistic data.
Okay. Okay, so maybe we'll just try to do a bit of visualization so that we can wrap up. Because if you have done logistic regression, maybe I don't. If maybe next week, if we still have time, then we can touch one more machine learning project. But I wanted to touch a bit on data visualization since we have not really touched that. Because you know most of the analysis you are going to do beyond your descriptive analysis, right? You still need to also explore your data using your visualizations, right? So let's just show how we can also visualize data, okay, in R. Okay, maybe we already have inbuilt data sets already, so I'll just be using them randomly so that you can just see how we can pick the data. Am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
All right, so most of the libraries we are using is library I use is what now? So either tidyverse, tidyverse, right? Library, tidyverse. Which other one are we using again? Library.
Deeply, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, like in Python now, what's the library for data visualization in Python?
Matplotlib.
Yeah.
Matplotlib.
Matplotlib, yes. There's another popular one again we use. There's another one they use again. Which one is that?
I use sklearn.
Visualization. For data visualization.
Sorry, Seaborn.
Seaborn, Seaborn. Okay, so just like you have Seaborn, in R, what we now use is what they call ggplot2. Can you see that? ggplot2. Although R has some of its own inbuilt visualization, right? Plots. But ggplot is the one like you have in Seaborn. Okay. But what makes, I think in terms of visualization, right? Maybe in terms of mapping, I think R has one of the most detailed map I think I have seen, but they have other ones. But since programming, you can edit it as much as you want to, okay? But you also have some nice visualizations also, okay? But the thing is that irrespective of the visualization that you have here, you cannot compare it with the one you have in Power BI and Tableau. But the only difference is that this is more flexible for you, okay? You can customize it as much as you want. Okay, so that's why you see, even when you are dealing with your Power BI Tableau, you can still build your own customized visuals in Power BI or Tableau using Python or R. So it just depends on the objective. Okay. So just like visualization, remember what we always say that when you are trying to visualize, you need to first of all understand what you are trying to do. Okay, you need to understand what you are trying to do. Okay. So it's either we want to what? Compare, is it not? We want to what? Find relationship, isn't it? We want to find composition or want to get a distribution. Is it not? So if I'm comparing, which chart will I use to compare? If I want to compare, I can use bar charts, column charts. Those are the basic charts we use to compare, right?
Pie charts.
Pie charts, not necessarily pie charts. Pie chart compares, but not, you will not see the extent. It's like a composition. It's more like a breakdown. So from 100%, how many? What's the composition of it? Is it not? So now break. Oh, 50% is for A, 30% is for B. Can you see that? 20% for C. Yes, kind of comparing, but again, it's more like a breakdown, right? So it's more like composition. The relationship. So we are looking. When you have your variables, two variables, right? You want to find their relationship. So you do like what they call a scatter graph. Okay. Then composition, yes, pie chart, your pie chart or your donut charts. Then for distribution, you can talk about your histogram. Okay, so those are the basic things that we do. Now, another thing again we have mentioned is that you see when you are talking about visualization, right? So when you want to analyze it, so this is what you have at the back of your mind. What's my objective? Am I trying to compare, find relationship, composition, or distribution? Okay. But more importantly, is understanding the kind of data that you have, isn't it? Because we talk about data, we can classify data as either was cross-sectional or time series data, isn't it? Now, if I have cross-sectional data, now which of the charts will I want to do here? If I have a cross-sectional data, what kind of analysis will I want to do with the charts? Yeah. If you have a cross-sectional data, what kind of chart will I be more appropriate for it? Yeah. A bar chart. Okay. What about time series? Line chart. So you see, you are still doing the same comparison, is it not? But one is at a point in time, one is over a period of time. Can you see that? So that's why, again, when you look at your variables, you need to ask yourself, is it at a point in time or over a period of time? It's still comparison. It can be, you are comparing, it can be one variable, it can be two variables, it can be three or more variables. Okay? Because once you see your data, you now need to ask yourself, okay, what is the nature of the data? Isn't it? So nature of data, it can either be what? Quantitative or what? Or qualitative, isn't it? This quantitative is what we say numeric. You know, it says a numeric data. While our qualitative, we say is what? Categorical. Can you see that? So another thing again we need to also have at the back of our mind is that, is it just one numeric data we have? Is it not? Is it one numeric? Or is it one categorical data we have? Or is it one numeric, one categorical? Or is it numeric? Or is it categorical? Can you see that? Or is it maybe two categorical, one numeric? Or is it two numeric data, one categorical data? Now, all this is what you take into consideration when you are doing your word visualizations. Okay, so it's not about jumping. So that's how you now choose which is more appropriate for you. So you need to understand what you are trying to do first, okay, before you jump into your visualizations. I think this is what we mentioned before, right? Am I sharing my screen again?
Yes.
All right, can see my screen. Okay, that's fine. Okay. And another thing again we also need to notice is that the way your data is structured, okay, the way your data is structured also matters, okay. How your data is structured also what matters. So those are things you now start looking out for. All right, so let's start with a simple one. I don't know, should we be creating data? Okay, let me just use some data. Let me see. So if you want to check all the data, let's see. I think there's this popular one. Let me try this. Let me see. If I say view, longly. Let's see. So can you see this data now? Can you see data now? So if you want to understand what happened about the data, just put question mark longly and you see the description of it. You see all the description here. Longly economic regression data. Macroeconomic data sets provides. Can you see that? So you see GNP and how it's measured. It's not number of people in the armed forces, population greater than 14 years, year employed. Can you see that? So that's like a breakdown of this data. Can you see that? So that's just an explanation of the data. So where you want to visualize the data. So for example, okay, let's start with the first one. So if I'm looking at maybe the year, let me say I'm looking at the year and the armed forces. Okay, so the year, and I'm looking at the armed forces over time. So what kind of chart am I going to do for this? What kind of chart am I doing for this now?
Line chart.
It's more likely going to be what? A line chart, isn't it? It's most likely going to be a line chart. So normally you just call ggplot, right? So normally once you call your ggplot, right, you see data. So you can call the data there. Okay, you can call the data. But alternatively, another way of doing it is that if you don't want to call the data there, what you can just simply do, you can just put a plus there. Can you see? So I've called the library. Now, what do I want to do now? Okay, so you have what they call geom line. So that's like saying like a line. This geom underscore line, geom underscore line. So what data is this? I can see data equals to what? Longly. Now, what you also notice is that when you break your data, there are three things we try to do, right? We try to first of all get the data, map the aesthetics, right? The color, the size, and every other thing. Okay. Then the geometry in terms of the shape and all. Okay. So you just call the data. So there's something called aesthetics. So let's say ES is aesthetics, right? So define the aesthetics mapping programmatically. Can you see that? So it describes how the variable should be, right? So in terms of the size, the different aspects of it. Okay. So the moment you call in the data, the next thing you need to bring is the aesthetics. Okay. Now there are two ways of doing it. You have what they call mapping, right? So mapping means you are mapping the aesthetics to it, right? So I can say AES. Then what's my x-axis? I can say my x-axis is what? What will be my x-axis now? If I was to plot a line chart now, this is my x, this is my y. What will be on my x-axis? So I'm looking at year and what did I say I want to look at? Okay, armed forces. Okay. So year and armed forces, right? And armed forces. So which is going to be my x-axis? Which will be my y-axis?
Year will be the x-axis.
So this will be year, is it not? Why this is to be armed forces, is it not? Now you see the difference is that if it was something like Power BI, you just drag automatically, you just tell you where you are going to do it. Isn't it? Where it's going to post it for you, put it for you. But here you have to know what you are doing. You don't guess. You get. You don't guess. You just need to know what you are doing. How it's going to be. So here is going to be year, and Y is going to be what? Armed forces. I think that's how I spell too. Year and armed forces. Okay, good. Year and armed forces. Let's run and check. Now, didn't come out there. So let's run that. Now be very careful with the spelling. So just check where. What did I miss there? Be very careful with the spellings. Confirm that I spelled the data correctly. So let me see. Okay, close out class packets. What again? Say unexpected symbol in what now? Was there any quotation mark I missed? Was there anything that I missed there? So sometimes if you do it and it doesn't run, please retry it again. So sometimes it will take some time to run. So once I plot the chart here, I just click on zoom. Can you see that? So that's it there. Now, most times you see almost everything here is customizable. Okay. For example, if you want the color now, if I want to change color now, just put color. Maybe I want the color to be what now? What color do I want? Okay, let's say blue. Can you see that's changed to blue? If I want it red, if I want it green. Now you can even say I want it light, let me say dark green. Dark green. Now also remember that I also showed you, like in your Excel, right? How you can customize the color to a specific color code. You know how we get the color codes, right? Do you remember how we get color codes? Do you remember color codes? Or your color
in
picker?
Excel, right? Yes.
Yes, either in Excel or Power BI or generally. Do you remember it? Where I want to pick a specific color. You know, you have this type of hex. Let me show us. You know, for example, if I want a specific color, right? Can we see this now? Maybe there's a specific color that you want, right? Maybe this purple color, whatever color. Can you see as you are going to be giving the different things, gray? Can you see that? So if I want anyone, you see those codes? Those codes, you have to take note of them. So I can just take that code, copy it, right? I can take that code, copy it, then come back to here. So where I have color now, I'm going to replace it with that code. Can you see that? I'll replace it with that code there. So that means you give me the exact color that I want there. Can you see that now? So that's brought that exact color. I'm sure this is clear now.
Doctor, sorry, where do you get this code from? For the color? Is it a specific website to go to?
I showed you the color code now. It's the website now. It's Color Picker.
Oh, okay.
It's called Image Color Picker.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If I just pick anyone, for example, I come here now, and I want this maybe, because with this one now, you see, with maybe with your, maybe I pick a particular, maybe like lime green. Can you see the codes? As I'm adjusting them, you see how the codes will be coming out. If I decide to come here, can you see that? If I need a particular color, I just move. Okay. Those of you who are artistic, you know how to choose colors. So once I pick, okay, this is the color I want. So I now see okay, this is the code. Okay, you see all black, 00 is all black. Can you see that 00 is all black? So once I've seen the color now I want, so I just click or just copy. I just copy it. I can just copy it, or you can see again. Once you come here, you see the different ones. As I click, you just pick it for me. If I click, you just pick the color, copy the color for me. Then I'll come back to my R or whatever tool I'm using and come and paste it here. Paste. Run it again. You now change the color to that exact color. Okay? Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Now, because it's coding, right? So most of the, if it was like Power BI, most of this has already been, they have already coded at the back end for you. Okay. So with this one now, you are the one building everything yourself. Nobody's building anything for you. Okay. But the only good thing is that they are already guides for you. So if I put ggplot, right? ggplot. Now you see how there's a documentation. There's something they call a cheat sheet. Can you see data sets, mapping? Can you see that? Mapping, you see all the other details. Can you see, you can just copy. If you don't remember, like me, I don't always remember. If I want, I just copy one of them, go and paste and start editing them. The only important thing is just to know what you are trying to edit. Can you see, for example, you want certain things. Maybe I cannot remember all of them. You can just come here, copy it, go and paste it there. And your own job is now to know what to change, isn't it? Or you just be changing trial and error and be testing. Okay, so when I want to do this, you see I will change. When I want to do this, see I will change. Can you see that? So you just copy. It doesn't mean you need to cram all the code. Just know, as you keep practicing with it, you now know what to do. Okay? So most time you just copy them, paste it here, and start using it. Okay, so you don't necessarily need to. So the important thing, just need to know that I will need to get the data first. If I get the data, I will now build the aesthetics. I will know my X, I know my Y, change the color, if there's a label, put all those stuff there. Okay, so as you keep building, now anything you want to add to it, you see just the way you added plus. Like in what they call it now? In your tidyverse, now you know how you do your piping, right? Maybe I'll show that one much later. So for example, I have longly here, right? So what this means, I will pipe it. So piping means connect whatever I have here to ggplot. Can you see that? It means connect whatever I have to ggplot. So it means I've connected this data to ggplot. Okay. So the same way, whatever thing you want to add to your chart, you now put a plus there. So plus means add to it. Can you see that? Add to it. So for example, I can now come here. I can say, okay, I want to add points to it. So I say geo points. Okay. I want to add points. Can you see mapping again? Mapping, what is the data? So since it's everything here, I want to map. I can copy everything here. I can copy everything here. Copy everything here, come and paste it here again. But the only difference now, here is line, here is point. So it means on that line, I want points on it. What did you say? GG. Will not find function plots. Okay. You notice that what happens, you have to select everything so that nothing will be missing there. Can you see now there's point on it? Can you see that now? Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So assuming now there are two variables now you want to work with, right? There are two variables you want to work with. Okay. Now, what I normally do, because maybe I don't remember all their codes, okay? But as long as I know what I want to do, isn't it? I'll just go on Google how to plot whatever I want in R. Can you see that? I'll now check. I'll check all what everyone has done. Some will be exactly what I need. Some will be different. But once I see the one that is close to it, I'll now say, okay, let me check what this person has done. Can you see that? Then I'll look through. If it is exactly, I'll just see the code. I'll say, okay, this is what I need to change, or this is what I need to add. Okay, so that's how you just learn it, right? Because when you see, because R in itself, I think when it comes to visualization, right? The way we have started like this, Python or R, which one is was easier? For visualization, Python or R?
Neither.
Yeah, no one is
Yeah.
easier.
Me, I'll go for Python.
You go for Python, you know. Yeah, I think Python is a bit more intuitive than R, right? But R, yes, I think Python is a bit more easier than R, though. Maybe because you're already used to Python. But if you are somebody that used to R, so we tell you that R is easier, but I don't know how, right? So the same way, right? So once you want to pick whatever you want, just go on Google, how to plot whatever chart in R. Can you see that? And you see how it is. There are some may be very technical. So some, if they are just technical, what I just do, I prefer to type it, because if you copy it and paste it, right? If you just copy and paste, you can copy and paste. That's when you know what you are doing. Copy and paste. But if you are learning it, type it yourself. Okay, just type it yourself. Okay, so that when you make mistake, right, you will not know what not to do again. Especially when you are learning R like this. Okay, but if you already know what you are doing, then you can just copy that and paste it, and just change whatever you need to change. Okay, but when you are learning it, just better type it so that you make your mistakes, so that you don't know what to do. All right, so it means that there are certain times, for example, if I wanted to add another variable to this, I want to add another variable to this. So it means just like I have, maybe this was one variable, isn't it? So I have here and armed forces, isn't it? But remember, I have a line and I have a point. You see, to even put the point alone is another line again, isn't it? Now, which means, what if I change, can I change the color alone to, let's say, 0, 0, 0? So I can change only that. So it means now my point, can you see that? My color is one thing, my point is a different color. So I can change that. If I also add another variable to it, maybe another variable, let's see. So if I have two numerical variables, okay, let's see. Unemployed, okay, let's say employed, right? Is this employed? Okay, unemployed. Let's see, unemployed and armed forces. Unemployed and armed forces. So let's check now. As unemployment is growing, do we have more people going into the armed forces? Can we see that? So I want to put this side by side and now check, right? So which means that because this is a second variable, you know, what do I do? I'll add plus again. Can you see that? I'll add plus again. Now, because I know what I'm going to change, what will I do? I'll just copy this to peacefully. Or do you want to type it? I just paste it here. I know I'm going to change what? My year will remain, is it not? My armed forces will now change from what to what? To unemployed, is it not? Now, and that thing you must check again. If I say it's unemployed, check your data. Because if it's a lower case here, you go and type uppercase, error. So you must check, okay, unemployed, unemployed. So I'll come here now. Unemployed. So you see, if it was somebody that just looked at it, you look as if it was complex, right? But now I know where to change it. It's not, I'll just go there and change. So you see where copy and paste will save you. So if I run it now, let's check. Did it work? So let's run it and check again. So let's see, did anything? Okay, this last one. Okay, please take note. This last one will not have this plus, right? Since there's nothing I'm adding to it. Since there's nothing I'm adding to it. So let me take that out and run it. Can't add what to a ggplot object. Can't add. What did I add to it now? Let's see. Say can't add. I'm trying to check the, okay. Did I close bracket any other place? I just copied and pasted. It's not like I did any other. Okay, yes. Okay. Now, if it does not work, what I'll do, let me go back again and check. Let me check it again that is running first. Okay, this one is working, is it not? So let me go back and add just the first line so I'll know where the problem is coming from. I'll come here. So I have to put a plus there. Then let me run this one and check. So I know that my problem is likely coming from this next line. Okay, unemployed. So let's check. Unemployed. Unemployed. Spelling is correct, right? Yes. So let me check again. Okay, let me take this plus out and run it now. Check. So it means the error will be coming from somewhere here. This line. Okay, geom lines. So my data mapping. Does anybody see where any error is coming from there? You see, I did not even adjust anything. So you just keep trying to run it and run it again till. Okay, good. Okay, good. So I want to add the line now. So the next one now. So I'll run it again. So it has worked. So if I zoom it now, so I can see it now, right? Can we see this? The other chart, when I have zoomed it, this chart. Can we see this? Yeah?
We can't see when you zoom in, but we can see the chart.
Okay, you can see the chart. Okay, but you cannot see when I zoom it. Okay. So it opens as it. So you can see it like this now.
Yes.
Okay, you can see it like this, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. Good. So you see, even when I'm running it, it's the same thing, but it's not like I change anything there, right? So you just, if in case you're having that same error, just try to run it again. Just try to rerun it again and see maybe why it's wasting that time. Okay. So if you're already, that's why I say if you're already used to Python, right? Python will be very easy for you to work with. But in this case, it's a little bit different. So for example, now you also want to add certain things like, you know how you want to put the title and the rest, right? You want to put the title. But although this one has already given us the axis and that, but if I want to add titles, I'll just come again, plus, then I'll say labels, libs. So X, what's my X axis? So I'll call it year. What's my Y axis? Y axis, I'll call it forces, right? So, but remember, because I have two here, right? I have armed forces and I have what again? I have armed forces and I have what again? Unemployed, you know. So I'll put comma, unemployed, armed forces. I'm looking for how to, okay. You know, because it's inside the bracket, so I just want to have two quotation marks there. All right, so armed forces, so that's one, comma. Then I can have what? What's the other one? Unemployed, right? Unemployed. I think it should be better. Okay, unemployed. So if I'm done with that, then next thing I can do. Okay, maybe I can. Yeah, then I can put a comma there. Then let's say title. So I want to title the entire thing. So armed forces, and unemployment in USA. Then I'll close the bracket. So confirm. Always the last one will not have that plus there. So let me just confirm that everything is okay. So you have your X, Y axis title. I hope this will work. Aha. So again, if I zoom it out, okay, since you guys cannot see the zoom, but you see with okay, I think it's okay like this now, right?
Yes.
It's okay like this. All right, good. All right. So that's fine. So I hope this is clear.
So
Okay, good. Now there are other things like, because I'll come back later to show you how to adjust like the background and the rest, but I just want to go through the basic first. Now, okay, let's go to another. Let's look at use another data set. Let me see data. Okay, let me use this data MSleep. I think MSleep is another one we can get some things from there. Aha. Okay. Now you see what we can do. You see what we have done before, right? We went straight to this thing now from ggplot, is it not? So I want to see how we can get the data, because we did data cleaning now, isn't it? We did data cleaning now, is it not? I know most
Yes.
times the assumption here is that this data is clean already. Can you see that the data is already clean? But you know, most time in practice, however, the data is never clean. Okay, because once you have missing data, you know, missing data tends to distort the way your chart will be, because you'll be seeing gaps in your charts, which means that if I need it, I will need to either fill it up. Okay, but if I'm not filling it up, then the best thing for me to do while exploring it is just to drop those NAs. I can drop those missing data, but you remember, you need to check what you are dropping. So don't go and drop the entire data set. Okay. So what we can do here, so for example, let's say we are working with, where was that MSleep just now? So let me move that closer to what we are working with. So I can see what we are working with close by. All right, good. All right, so if I want to call the columns, so you see I can call the columns. So how do I call columns? Is it column names? MSleep. Yep. And remember, again, you can just even check the structure, right, of MSleep. Or what other way can you do it? So now I can see character. Can you see that these are characters? So character means that what? Strings. Why these are what? Now you see the samples, this 83, is it not? Now you notice now they are NAs. Can you see that? So they are missing what? Data. Okay, like for example, this one you have Carnival. So if I want to check if there's a missing data, how will I check if there's missing data? How do you check if there's missing data? How do you check if there's missing data?
is.na.
Is.na, is it not? Is.na. So for example, I want to check the specific column. Let's say MSleep. Can you see that now? So you can see true. You can see some are true. Can you see that? So there are still some missing data, but it's not much, is it not? It's not much there. But if I say any, so just to check, is there any missing data there? True, isn't it? So it says there is missing data. So which means if this is, so for example, if you just one variable I am working with, right? Maybe just this particular variable I'm working with. Now what I can also do I can first of all call the data mSleep. I'll now pipe it. Now, is it not? So what do I want to do now? I want to drop. So anywhere there's missing data now for this var, is it not? And remember, if I check the mSleep, if you want to check the data set now, look at the data sets. You see the definition of the variables. So you see description of the data, the description, right? Can you see what it's about? Mammal sleep data sets. Okay. So var, is it carnivore, omnivore, herbivore? Can you see that? So that's what that var means. So that is carnivore, herbivore, or omnivore. All right, good. Now, if I drop NA, right? So drop NA means what? Drop the missing data there, isn't it? Now, once I have dropped that missing data, I can now what? Pipe it into what? ggplot. Can you see that now? So you know what you'd have done? You'd have done this one, saved it as a data. You know what we would have done? What we were doing before is that once we do this now, we'll come here and come and save it maybe as a df. Can you see that? I'll run that and now say view df. View df. Then I'll save it as df just now. Okay, I'm not typing anything there. Can you see that? So it will go into the data now and drop all the NA here. Can you see that? To drop all the NA here. Okay. So what we are now doing here, we don't want a situation where we need to what? Drop and go and start calling DF again. Do you get? So what we want to do immediately after we drop it, we can just connect it straight into our ggplot and start. So it means the result from here, go and plot it in ggplot. I hope you understand this now. You know, before we are getting our data first, we first get our data, then put our data inside here. But now, once I'm connecting it from here, it means whatever result I get from this dropping or filtering, right? I can now come here and connect it to ggplot. Okay. Then the aesthetics, I can now put the aesthetics there. Now, in terms of, for example, remember, if I look at this data now, can you see omnivore? What kind of data is this? This var, what kind of data is it? What kind of data is it?
Categorical data.
It's categorical data, isn't it? And what kind of analysis can you do for categorical data?
You can do like a bar chart, count, something like count.
Yes, you can do like a count, isn't it? So which means that if I'm to do a count now, if I'm to do like a count now, right? So how will I now do the count? How will I now do the count? How will I now do the count? Okay. So you understand what we're trying to do now, is it not? So it means that we need to first of all do a count, is it not? So that we can break it down. Isn't it? We need to do a count so that we can what? Easily what? Break it down. Okay. Otherwise, we'll go and do the count, put it in a data set, then now bring that new data set here. Well, now what we are doing, we are connecting it. Once we drop the missing data, connect it here and do a count. So in doing that count, there's a function there called, can I remember that thing? Yes, I think it's count. Count entries in a factor count. Yes, factor. It's called factor count. So FCT is what? Factor what? Count. So what you are simply doing, yes, is factor count. So factor count. But you know, and that thing again, you want to do it like, you know how you have a frequency table. You want to have like a frequency table. So in terms of how it's going to appear, like a frequency table. So we have a function called infrequency. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Infrequency. There was a variable. Is it not? Now, what's next thing I need to do now? Now, please check. Oh, how many brackets do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. It means when we are closing, how many brackets do we need? How many brackets do we now need when we are closing it?
3.
3 brackets. So we have 1, 2. It means we need the last one. Now, if you are not careful with that, you see that bracket that you have missed, you will spend a whole week looking for where this error is. So you have to be very careful with these brackets. Is that clear? Because I have used it and I say, okay, let me go and close it now. Or let me go and add it to the next one. I will have error. I will check and check and check and check. I will not know where error is coming from. Okay. So be very careful with these brackets. So once I have closed that, so what I want to do, I want to do a frequency count. Now, another thing again, you can also do. Let's see if I just run this now with this work. So let's run this and check. Okay, not yet. Okay, cannot show me yet. So let me merge it now to the next thing now. Okay. So now I have done that. So I want to do a bar plot. So I want a bar chart, right? So once I've done the numbers, I want to do a bar chart. So we have what they call GG. I think they're GG bar. GG bar. It's called GG. Okay, I think you have geom bar. Geom bar. I think that's what they call it. Geom bar. Yes, geom bar. Okay, yes, that's it. So geom bar. Okay. Again, I will have to put this thing there, right? But what I want to do, if I leave it blank, let's see, will it allow me plot it? Okay, not yet. Okay, let me fill it up. So there, what I'll do, I'll fill maybe a particular color. Maybe what color code did we use? Okay, let me just say blue. Let me just use blue. Okay. Then again, you can set the theme that you want. You can set the theme. Some you can use black and white theme. You can use different themes there. So I can use the themes there. Then the same way I have labels. So I can just say labels. Let's say X. X will now be what? What will be on my y-axis now? On my x-axis now? What will be on my x-axis? What will be on my x-axis? What will be on the x-axis now? If you were to do a bar chart now, what will be on your x-axis? If I was to do a bar chart now, what will be on the x-axis? What will be on the y-axis? Yes. What will be on my x-axis and what will be on my y-axis? Yes, what we are going to have in your x-axis and what we have on your y-axis. So I want to have something like this now. So what will be on my x-axis? What will be on my y-axis? If you are plotting this in Excel, how we have done it in Excel? You are plotting in Excel. How we plot in Excel?
I think the numbers, the measurement number will be on the y-axis, while x-axis will represent the name of each bar.
Okay, each of those categories, you know, each of those
exactly.
categories, you know, exactly.
Yes.
Now you see, that's why you must be clear, because here you are the one that will build it the way you want. Do you get? So you must know which is X, which is Y. Okay. If it was Excel or Power BI, once you drag and drop, as the spirit leads, anyone that gives you take it like that, right? Otherwise, you need to go and change it back. But here, if you don't get it rightly, it's not going to work. Okay. So here will be what? Let's say what we call it now. Let's say for why our y-axis is going to be what? Let's say number. Is it not? Then you can have title. What will be title now? Number of, let's say, observations. I think let's run and check. Check that again. So you see, when it's not running this way, it means either something is holding it back, or you just have to keep running it again till it works. Let me take it to a new page and check. All right, let me see if there's anything that's causing this one now. So drop. Yes, connect to. Now you see, okay. You know what's happening? You know what's happening here? Do you know what's going on here? Why it's not running?
No, sir.
You know, we assigned everything here to DF. Can you see that? So it means all we have done is to assign it to DF, but we are not assigning it yet. We don't want to assign it. We just want to run it. Aha. Can you see it now? Because we had assigned it to DF. So now we have what? Run it now. Can you see that now?
Yeah.
Now you know that if we have not done this, if we did not drop any, do you know what would have happened? Let me remove that now. Assuming we did not drop that, the missing data. Let me run it now. Do you see what has happened? When you don't drop the missing data. Do you notice what happened?
It took NA2 as a categorical.
N is a category, exactly. So you categorize all of them as N. And normally, it will not make any sense when you are doing presentation, you are putting N there. Can you see that? So you now understand why you need to drop your missing data, if possible, or go and look for what to fill it. Can you see that now? So that's the essence of why we have dropped it there. Okay. Before you drop, make sure you go back to the source to check what is missing there, right? But if it's just for practice, you can drop it just to see how it works. But in your real life situations, don't just drop. You need to, there's a source where that data is coming from, isn't it? So they will need to fill it there. So you need to go and fill that data there correctly. But otherwise, that's how it works. So we understand that once we see the data, ask yourself, okay, it's one variable. Is it categorical or numerical? Once it's categorical, most likely I will likely do what? A bar chart or what? A column what? Chart, isn't it? A bar chart or what? A column chart. But again, if it was, what they call it now? If it was just a numeric data, maybe one numeric data, let's see which numeric data do we have there? Which numeric data do we have? Sleep. Okay, let's say sleep total. Can I see sleep total? Can I see that? Let's say it was sleep total, or which other numeric data do they have? Awake. Okay, how long is awake, right? Okay, awake. You see, it's numeric. Awake here is numeric, isn't it? So it means if it's just one. So what I can do, I think I can copy this now, right? I can copy it, right? Or let's just do this from scratch. So let's say M sleep. I'll type it now, isn't it? Let me type it. Oh, sorry. If this does not work here, it means let me go and I'm gonna call my tidyverse again. Tidyverse. Where's the library for tidyverse? What do you know? Names are focal. You see, all the things I've been typing there has been in on that sheet. Let me type here. Hey, enemies, they should leave me alone now. Okay, let me close it here. Let's see. Let me see. Where is he typing it to now? You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to pipe. You know the shortcut to pipe is Ctrl Shift N, is it not? There's no okay here now. It's taking it on that page. Oh, enemies, they should leave me alone. Okay, let's take it on that page and see. It's okay here now. Sorry, let me just do that. Library, tidyverse, library, deep layer, library, ggplot2. All right, good. Obviously, it's working here. Good. So let's say, for example, we have sleep. Okay, good. Now, what I had done, I had dropped, is it not? Because you can do whatever this thing you want to. You can drop, you can filter. So assuming I want to filter, right? If I want to drop or I want to filter, which one should we do? Drop or filter? Just like we had drop. Okay, if we're saying drop, okay, so that means drop any. So I want to drop what? Right? And then what do I want to do now? Now I want to plot it, is it not? So GG plot. Okay. Now I have to put the aesthetics there again. So maybe my x-axis now will be, what was my x-axis now? Okay, awake, right? Awake. Now, because this is a numeric data, right? Because this is numeric data, I am not going to be doing like any comparison, right? Between different categories, okay? So in that case, the most appropriate chart will now be what? What will it now be? Once the numeric data, one numeric data, what will be the most appropriate chart for it? For a numeric data, what will be the most appropriate chart for it? Yes. What will be the most appropriate chart for it? For a numeric, for one numeric data. Or as the spirit leads. You know, because if it was in Excel, you can easily just go there, pick any chart that looks fancy, you know. But here, if you don't know what you are doing, you don't know what you are doing. You get? So that's why you must be clear what kind of chart you want to do, because here everything you are going to type it. There's nothing like drag and drop. So what will be the most appropriate chart for a single numeric variable? Remember, once you look at your data, ask yourself, is it one categorical, one numeric? Is it one numeric, one categorical? One categorical, two numeric, one categorical, right? Because that was now what will be guiding you on what I'm doing. So in this case, what will be the best for us to use? Yes?
Can we use histogram?
Histogram, right? Histogram will be actually most appropriate for it. So you now say geom histogram. Can you see that? Again, you can also map it. But you see, most times, all this other mapping, we don't need all of them, but we can pick, let's say, beam width, so that we now know how wide it should be. So beam width, yes. So that beam width, let's try default. I don't know. Default, maybe I can pick one. Can we pick one as default first? Let's see how that will work, right? Then we can fill with a particular color. If you have any particular color in mind, so if I put remember there are just 6 now, so I can put any this I want. Let's say 8, 5, 3, maybe B1, 2. Is that 6 there? Okay, 6. So I just put them randomly. I don't know which is which. But by the way, you have to put it in quotation mark. You have to put in quotation mark. So any other thing again? Any other thing again? Now, if you want to put the theme again, black and white, you can also leave that. Then if you want to put the labels, x-axis will be what now? Let's say total sleep or whatever you have there. Y-axis, if you want to put your y-axis, let's say y will be what? Frequency or whatever you want to put there. Frequency of, let's say frequency there. Then you have title. Title, let's say, what will be title now? But you see, for this one, because we only have one variable, so this y, I don't think anything should be in y, is it not? Because we are not doing the frequency, just like we have here. So this one you can drop this one. So in case there, you can just put null. Can you see that? Y means you can just put null there. They can put title, histogram of total sleep, something like that. Let's try and see if this will work. What did he say? Okay, malformed color. Hey, let me put another number there. Okay, all right. Aha, good. Can we see that now? So you can put whatever color you want there. If I have changed here to 1, let me see what the color will look like. Good. Anyway, for those who, let me just put pink there. And this looks much better. So we have seen if it's one single, is it not? If it's over time, line charts, one categorical, bar charts, one numerical, histogram. Okay. But in case now you have, for example, like maybe 2 numeric. If it's 2 numeric data now, 2 numeric now, right? If it's 2 numeric, most likely 2 numeric, what we want to do is like a scatter graph or scatter chart. Okay, you can do like a scatter chart. So I want to pick 2 numeric data. So let me pick 2 numeric. Okay, we have, let's say, sleep total, we have awake, we have, which other one again do we have? What's that? Okay, brain weight, body weight, right? body weight. So let's say body. Okay, let me just use these two, body weight and this. Now, but you see now, but because this one has some missing data, right? So what do we do now for it? Either we drop it, isn't it? Either we drop it or we can filter. Either we drop or we filter. Okay, either we drop it or we can filter it. All right. Okay, let me just give a typical example of what we can do there. So let's say, for example, sleep. Now let's say I want to filter, right? So filter. Let's see which one now. Okay, bring. Now this one I can drop it, but I don't know how many we drop now. That's the thing now. Can drop that. Okay, they are quite a lot. So they are quite a lot. Okay, let me just. It's just for illustration purpose. So let's say, for example, I want to filter. Maybe let's say body weight. So I want to filter where body weight is less than 2, or let's say less than 5, or anyone. Okay, let's say less than 2. Okay, so I can filter it there, right? So it means I can drop, I can filter. Okay, whatever result I have, I'll now put it on ggplot. Is it not? ggplot. Okay, the same thing, the aesthetics again. I'll have my x-axis. Now you know how we have been saying x equals to y. X-axis is equal to this, y-axis. The same way I can leave out the x-axis. By default, I'll just put the variables there. So I can say body weight. I can say brain weight. Do you understand this part? You know, before we are specifying x is equals to this, y is equals to this. In this case, I can just put it this. I can just put it straight. It will still work. Okay. Now I can use the geom points. Okay. Now for the geom point, the same thing again. I can also state the aesthetics, right? Maybe now I can say color, but if you want to now specify which one you want, then that's where it would have been nice to put color equals to, let's say, sleep total. Then maybe size. Maybe I want the size equals to, let me see which size there. Okay, let the size be this one, awake. So let size be awake. Any other thing again? So maybe I want to put what now? What again do I want to add to it? Maybe the labels, right? Now there's something again they call yes, geom smooth. You can also smoothen it. But in that case, you have to specify the method. There, where is it here? Method. I think there's a linear. So like linear this thing now. Then I can put my, yeah, I think I can, this one can work. Method will be okay. Then labels. Okay, let me try it first and see whether this one makes any sense. Aha, good. This one works. Let me see. Let me take that guy out. Can you see that? Just like looking at the relationship, isn't it? Between them. Now let me take this guy out and see. Can you see that? That line will not be there. Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference now? So in case I want to put like that trend line, across it. Is that geom smooth I'll put there to like fit it. But otherwise, if I'm just looking at their relationship, I can just see that it's scattered, isn't it? But I want to now see the line of best fit. So the line will be somewhere here. The line will be somewhere here. So in case you want to put that line, so that's when we now use that geom smooth. Smooth, then I can say method. I want it as a linear model. Okay. Now the same way we are adding the labels, isn't it? The same way we're adding labels, so we can also add the labels. What will be my x-axis now? Let's say x-axis. Let me call it body width. You know why it's scattered? It's because of those missing data, right? So that's why most of them they are scattered this way, because of some of the missing data. Then my y-axis will be what now? Brain width. Then maybe my title. My title will be what now? Maybe see brain. Let's call it maybe brain body width. Take note, the last one you never put a plus there. So let me run that and check. What did he say? Error in GG. You cannot add objects together. Where did I add objects together? Did you forget to add this object to ggplot object? GG. Where is GG now? Oh, okay. Let me add that plus. But you see what it's trying to do for you? It's trying to fix and remove those missing data for you. Okay. So when I expand it now, you see how the chart now looks like. All right, I hope this is clear. So we have seen where you have one variable, it's not one numeric, one categorical, it's not two categorical, or yes, or two numeric. Now, for example, when you want to also analyze your data, right? For example, you have one numeric, one categorical. Most often than not, you need to check how the distribution of that your data, right? You need to check the distribution of that your data. Okay. So let's say, for example, let me go back to that data and check. So let's say we have sleep total there. Okay, let's say VOR and sleep total. Okay, let's say VOR and sleep total. All right, so let me check now. VOR and sleep total. Okay, good. Now let's do something like this now, because most time when you check your data, you want to check whether your data have outliers, isn't it? How do you know if your data has an outlier? How do you know if your data has an outlier?
Can use box plots.
Box plot, isn't it? You can use what your box plots. Okay. So the same way, let's say M sleep. Right. So I can say, okay, let me drop NA. Okay. Then what do I want to do next? Okay, ggplot. So I want to plot it. ggplot. Okay. My aesthetics. So I have VOR and I have a sleep total. You know, I can also have put X there, Y there. Okay, X equals to VOR, Y equals to, by default, you know it's X by Y. Then I now have geom box plots. Okay. Then maybe I want to put a theme. Let's say black and white theme. Okay, good. So cannot what? Oh, sorry. So supposed to be plus here. Did it work? Okay, so that's. So can you see? Is there any outlier now? Do we have outliers there?
Yes.
So it shows you
No, we
in this
don't.
one you have outliers here, right? There was outliers in this case. Okay, so that's how you just put your different variables. So you just bring them, maybe two of them, just bring them together and look at it and check, right? If it was just total slip, I would have just simply have, if it was just, for example, total slip I had here now. Let's say I had removed this out. Let me check this now. Will this have picked it for me? Now you see what that's done, right? So you know normally your box plot is already assumed that, remember that R is statistical programming, isn't it? So by default, you should already have some basics of statistics. You know how to read it, isn't it? So this is your minimum point. This is your first quartile. This is your median. Your median, or your average, right? This is your third quartile. So your difference between your quartile 1 and quartile 2 will give your interquartile range, which is your median. Then this is the maximum. Anyone above it, where you see dot means there's an outlier. I think we remember that. Okay, so that would be what? An outlier. Okay, now there are some other things again you can also do, right? For example, there's something you can also do. Let me check for that. Where was the one we did a box plot? Let me see. Let me see this one. No, not this one. There's one we did a bar plot. Where was the one we did bar plots? Bar plot. Now for your bar plot, there's something again. There's something they call, I think it's coordinate flip. Let me see. Coordinate flip. I think this is it. Yes, flip your X and Y. Coordinate flip. Coordinate flip. Let me add it here. Let me check. Now, can you see what it has done? It has moved it from your column chart to your bar chart. Can you see that? So it's called coordinate flip. So you have swapped X for Y. So that's what it has done. That's swapped. Sweep them together.
That's like transposing it.
Yeah, just like transposing it, exactly. So just like you have your bar plot and your column chart, just this flip side of it. So that's what you do there. It's called coordinate flip. Because when you want to do that, for example, with this your bar plot, so again, I can also say coordinate flip. Then I run it now. Can you see that you now switch it the other way? Clear?
Yes.
Good. Now, the same way, if I want to now add certain, maybe, okay, let's say sleep. Now, let's say, okay, let's please still drop it. Drop any ball. Okay. Let me see plot, GG plot. Now, for my GG plot now, let me see. Okay, we still have the same. Okay, let's still use the same thing. Let's do the same thing. Let's do the same thing. Let's use sleep total. Sleep total. Let's use sleep total there. Now, but you see, when you are using sleep total, right? So if I was to fill it now, right? So let's say fill. Normally we have been using column, right, to fill it. I can also use the variable. there. Open, close, open. So I need another one there. Close. All right. Let me close that. Now, what I can also do, let me use geom. So there's something called geom density. So the density is like, for example, so it is one categorical, one what? Numeric, right? One categorical, one numeric. So it's almost like your histogram, right? It's almost like your histogram, but it's just a bit different. Just a bit different. Let me run that and check. What did he say? Error expected. So one bracket. One bracket. Where is it? I didn't do anything there now. I didn't do anything there.
No,
So I've dropped it.
two brackets.
Okay, I think I didn't call the aesthetics there. Okay, aesthetics. So this is 1, 2. Aesthetics. Okay. Let me run this and check now. It will change. Can you see what that's done now? Can you see what that's done? Now, for example, if I want to shade it a bit lighter, right? You want to now shade it a bit lighter. So normally you can say alpha. Maybe I want to fade it. Maybe I'll say alpha 0. If I say 0.5, I think 0.5 is like mid. So it means if I go lower, let me go lower. 0.2. Let me see. Can you see that it's a bit faded? Can you see that? So these are called density plots. So just in case I have maybe one categorical, one numerical, right? And I want to plot them against each other. So I can use this. So now see how dense they are. And remember, you know why this is picked like this? You know why this is picked like this? Why is this coming out this way? This is for which one now? This omni, is it not? Why is it coming out this way?
Because of the outlier.
Because of the outlier, exactly. Remember our box plots. It has already told us that. Remember the box plots, that's the one that has the outlier there. So that's what is happening there. Okay. So this is another way of also doing it. You see, like this kind of charts now. Do you have these charts in Power BI or do you have these charts in Power BI now?
It will be
Eh?
It will be there.
These ones, density plots.
Okay, like we might not be able to grade the faded, even with the faded color here.
Now, this is where you see the advantage. Now, you see, as I've created this one here, you go and copy this your code. Can you see this your code? You know, in your Power BI, you know you have arrow script and you have Python script. Have you seen that icon? Yes. Python script and arrow script in Power BI Visual.
Yeah.
You will go and copy this chart. You see, you go and copy this code here. You copy this code and go and paste it there. And you now create this visual now inside your Power BI. So that's why you see how you can integrate most of the tools that you have already learned. Okay, you can integrate most of the tools that you have already learned. I think that's basically it. And there's one other data set. Let me see. What's the name of that data set? Is it MPG or MGP? Is it MGP or MPG? Okay, let's say manufacturer, model, cylinder, transmission. Okay. Okay, let's say for example this particular one now, right? So let's look at, let me first MPG. 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 So let's check MPG. So you can see what is about, right? So the fuel economy data from 1999 for 38 popular cars. So you have the model, its model name, you have engine displacement, year, cyclical cylinder, number of cylinders, transmission, drive, whether it's four-wheel drive, rear, city miles per gallon, highway miles per gallon, fuel type, class. Can you see that? So you now have the different, this thing there, okay? So if I was to pick, let's say, for example, which one now should we look at now? Which one can we look at now? Okay, something I wanted to do. Okay, let's look at the class. Okay, let's take class. Let's take class and maybe this highway mile per gallon. Okay. Now let's use that. So let's say I have GG. Now you see in this case now, either I can go straight or I can just go GG plus. Can you see the difference method between both of them? I can now call the data here. Okay. Then I can now use the aesthetics. Then say X, let's say X is our type of car. Then let's say our Y is what now? Y is highway. Okay, highway. Okay, now if there's something called fill, you can now fill it with what? Let's say with the class, with the type of car. Okay, now let's do which chart can we do now for it now? Which chart can we do for this now? Okay, let's do a box plot. Geo box plots. Okay. Now, other things you can do, you see, most times, okay, let me put this one and see what this looks like. Yeah. Going to be saved. All right, let me see. Error where?
Include the brackets.
Which bracket is that one again? Enemies have come. So I have 1, 2. Okay, good. Aha, good. So can you see, are there outliers here?
Yes, so
Okay, good. Now, when there are outliers, what's the implication of an outlier for your analysis? What is the implication of an outlier for analysis? What is the implication of outlier for your analysis?
you may give a false representation at the end of the call when you want to try.
Exactly. That's why you must always either first of all, what you can do, drop those outliers first, isn't it? But first of all, check. Because if there's an outlier there, it may represent certain things for you. So that's when you do your analysis. For example, your average. You cannot use average. The moment you, for example, if I see this data now, there's outlier here. There's no way you can use an average. Can you see that? So that's why on the safe side, use the median. If you know you're not going to use your box plot to check if there's outlier, instead of doing anything, just use what the median. On no account do you use the mean, because the mean will be misleading. Okay. So we can see the difference where, for example, where I did not want separate them, differentiate them by their colors, So now I have now used the class. Can you see that to fill it up? Okay. So I now use the class now to what distinguish them. Can you see that now? So this will now tell you that this is two-seater, but in the previous one, there was no difference. So this compact, mid-size, minivan, pickup, subcompact, SUV. All right. I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me. So I'm sure we're okay with our box plots now, isn't it? We are okay with box plots. Now there are some other things I wanted to show us. There are some other data I wanted to show us. Now, because if you wanted to do like a pie chart, you know, like in Excel, you know how Excel or Power BI, you know how easy it is to plot a pie chart, right? Where you just drag and put it there. Let me see which one can I use for pie chart now. I want the data that will be very straightforward for us. Let me see. View which data set will open. Species. Okay, let me see diamonds. Diamonds. That's. I don't want a data that is very huge. Okay, color, depth, table. Okay, let's see color. Okay, let me use color. Let me use color. Now, if you look at this table, right? If you look at this data set now, right? You see, for example, this is just color, isn't it? So the color can be what? A, B, C, D, E, F. Can you see that? Or D to where now? D to, let me switch it. So D to J. Can you see the colors are D to J? Right? So if I want to do a pie chart for it, how will I do a pie chart? If I want to do a pie chart now, how will I do a pie chart? If I want to do a pie chart, how will I do a pie chart? Or what's the steps normally you used to do a pie chart? What's the steps you used to do a pie chart?
I want to check the composition of.
You check what?
I want to check the composition.
Okay.
Three variables. I want to check the composition of color.
Yes, but if you had to do it on paper, how we have done it on paper? Or in Excel, how we have done it?
We are going to calculate the proportion of
Exactly,
each
you can't calculate the proportion, is it not? And how do you calculate the proportion?
by taking each category over the total
Over the total.
representation.
Exactly, over the total, is it not? Then you now divide, is it not? You now divide it to now show you, okay, this is it. Which means for your pie chart, as simple as that thing is, you swear to do it. Okay, not to talk of, okay, pie chart. Okay, let's just try and see how it's done, right? So the first thing we need to do, let's say for example, so we have diamonds, right? So diamonds. Now, if you look at your data, so if I look at my, where's my diamonds there? So let me take that close by. Okay, good. So let's look at color, right? So you see this color, what I want to do, I want to summarize it. You know, I want to summarize it so that it can count for me how many D, how many E, how many F, to how many what J. Right? So if I'm to do that now, what I can do in Excel, what will I have done? If I want to summarize all of them and now do a count, how will I do it in Excel?
What's a pivot table?
Yeah, I would have done a pivot table, exactly. I would have used a pivot table. Now here in R, we are going to use a group by. So that pivot table is like doing a group by, isn't it? Group by. So let's say we are grouping by what? Color, isn't it? Then once I group by color, what do I want to now do? I want to do like a count, is it not? Whatever I get now, I will now do a percentage of it. Is that how we do it normally? So in that case, I will do what? Summarize. Summarize what now? The count. Okay, how do I do count? It will be n, is it not? So that will be the count. But what do I want again? I also want the percentage. I also want the percentage, is not percentage. And how do I get percentage? It will be number divided by what? The number of rows. N rows. Is it not in that data set? Diamond. I hope that's it. Did it work? Let's check. So did it work like this? So DEF, isn't it? Can we see it now? So this is the color, ordinal. Count, integer. This is now percentage. Can you see that? So all this now, hey, do you want us to tie it straight to ggplot, or I should put it in a variable first so that we don't get confused? Which one will be easier, to put it straight into ggplot, or no, let me just put in a data frame. Let me put in a data frame first so that we'll not cry, because sometimes this thing can get confusing. So can you see that I've put it inside data now, right? So I'll now come here, ggplot, then I can now call data. I can say data is equals to data. We understand that? Or let me call it data one, so that will be better. So the data, my data is what? Data one. I think it's clear now. This is clear now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then I will now have to specify my x. But in this one, do I have anything like x-axis now? For your pie chart, are you going to be having anything like x-axis now?
No, there won't be.
There won't be, right?
Yes.
So you see, when you now run it for this thing now, for R, right? So that's what you're calling x-axis there. You may not have x-axis, but I have like count, right? I have like count, so let me leave it as null there for now. If in case you have error, I'll come there and check whether there's anything. But my y is where we have the numbers, and the numbers I want is the percentage. Percentage, okay. Then let me fill it with what now? Let me fill it with color. Okay. How many brackets do I have there? Okay, just one. All right. So now all this is my aesthetics. So let me put the bracket there. If I don't call aesthetic, I don't want to give me problem there. All right, good. Now the next thing I want to do, I will need to separate, okay, by color. So you have what they call geom color. I can't remember. Geom color, yes, geom color. Geom color, yes, geom color, yes. So I'll now call it color. Let's say my color. Let's make it simple. Let's make it black. Okay. Then you now need your, what they call it, coordinates. There's something they call, let me see if I can remember that. This is coordinate polar. Coordinates. Yes. Can you see the polar coordinate system is mostly common use for pie charts, which are a stacked bar chart in polar coordinates. Can you see that? You see everything now, you have to build it manually. As simple as your pie chart is, you have to now build everything manually. Okay. Then I now say start. I don't know what that will be there, but let me leave it there first. Okay. Now, once you have put the shape now, so next you are going to put the text. What will now be inside? So I will now need geom text. I will now say the aesthetics, my X, I just have my label. my label. And what will be my label now? My label will be percentage, is it not? My label will be percentage. But if that's the case, let me say paste. So concatenate vectors after converting to character. Okay, so I want to merge them together, but I will need this one so that when I get my percentage, but remember that your percentage that we got, where's my data there? View data 1. Aha, can you see that? So I want to summarize it into, maybe I want to round it up. Let me round it up. Let me round it up. Okay, let me round it up. So it means I'll round it up there. Okay. So in that case now, so for that this thing there, I will now have to round it. I'll now say round. What am I rounding up now? The percentage. But remember, because it's already in decimal, what I can do there, I can multiply it by 100. I think that will make sense there. Or multiply it by what? 100. So once I multiply by 100, I will now say, okay, show me the percentage sign, just the percentage sign there. And I hope check this bracket so that I don't miss it. Because once I miss it now, I will not be able to trace it again. 1, 2, 3. I'll know my error is coming from somewhere. So 1 may be here, 1 may be here, but I'm not so sure where the error will be. Okay, so let's take that. Okay, so let's see now. Now the position, where's the position I want? So I have to look at the position, and the position, so you have what they call position stack. So you see, for everything in R, everything in R is already built there for you. Everything in R. So you can just adjust. So vertical adjustment, let's say I want it half. Let's say 0.5. Okay. Then maybe the team, right? So maybe I can just put a team there. Let's say team. So I'll put a panel. So all those software that you see now, like your Excel, your Power BI, do you now know what goes behind it now? Can you see what goes on at the back end now? So when we just drag and drop, to us is very easy, isn't it? But this is what has gone through at the back end. So you can now set your axis, your line axis, your X axis, all the axes that you want there. So let's say, for example, axis line, let's say element, let's make it blank again. Another one again. Which other one again? Say, let's say axis text. Let's make it blank again. Axis tick. Let's make it blank again. So just in case. And that again, yes, axis title. This title will be very important. Elements blank. Elements, yes, blank. Okay, good. And that left. Now, in case again you want the size of the, okay, let me just call it. Okay, let me just put it to plot title. Let me put the plot title. Now, for the plot title, for your plot title, right? You need to, because most of your plot titles, the plot title. So what we are going to do, we have to put the text there. We have to put the text now. What now? So we can put your horizontal adjustment. V means vertical adjustment, right? H means horizontal adjustment. So I'll set it 0.5. Your size 20. Okay. Then the title. Let's say the title. Let me call it What should we call this one now? Pie chart. Pie chart of diamond. All right, I hope this one doesn't work then. As usual. 4 matches, multiple for. Anyway, I think the errors are coming from. So let me see here. Let me change here. If I put here for my X, do I have anything like X axis there? Okay, let me run it and check. I put a number there. Let me see if that will work. That's not where the error is coming from. Oh yeah, let me check. Check one of the brackets. I'm sure it's one of the brackets there. Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. You need to be careful so that you see, because everything that is there is well defined. It's already well defined already. So you must define the structure. You must define the structure there. So let's see where it's coming from. Okay. Yes, data, Y percentage, field, yeah, that's fine. Geom color, yes, okay. Let me see this. Okay, not sure what will be there. Geom text, percentage, okay, okay. Now let me see. Now in all these ones now, did I lock it? Okay, they're all inside one. Okay, that's fine. They're all inside one. Let me try again and see where the issue is coming from. You see, argument, 4 matches, multiple formal arguments. Error in panel, dim. So where's my dim? Okay. Panel. So the error is coming from here. So team will be what now? Panel. Blank. So let me see. Axis. Please check. Is there any spelling that I'm missing? Okay. What's with ticks? Ticks, not tick, ticks. Ticks. Yes. Ticks. Ticks there. Head title. See, just one S has destroyed everything. Can you see that now? That's why you see when you want to do it, you don't just go and start, because this one I will just show you how they do it normally. But normally, once you just know I want to plot pie charts, you don't need to go and remember all these things. What you just do, go and copy, go and look for it, go and copy it and see, okay, this is what they have done here. Let me see, I know where to put my variables there. Is it not? Well, let me see if I had removed this X and left it as null, what would have happened? So I think that was where that issue was coming from. So you must have an X value there. If I had put 1 there, let me see. I just put a random value there because you must have something there for it to see. Okay. Now, assuming now, so this was like a pie chart, isn't it? This was pie chart. Now, if I was to do a donut chart, so if I was to do a donut chart. Now, for donut chart, it will be a bit, it's almost the same thing. The only difference now is that when I get to my, you see the last part, right? So this part now, we now need to, you have what they call, what they call that again? Yes, like your, they call it like limits, right? But this one, I need to now define this side. So what I want to do, I want to like cut a hole in between here, right? So they call it X lim. So here I'll put maybe what coordinate will I use now? Okay, let's say 0.5, let's say 3. Let me try this one work. If it doesn't work, we'll try on that one. Hey, so no work. Hey, see the small, can you see the small hole it has created now? Okay, let me see. 2.5. Let me see. So small one. Okay, let me change this axis to 2. Aha. Better. Can you see that now? Can you see your pie chart now? Your donut chart. You see how simple some things can look, right? But you see how complex at the back end it is. So that's why most time, once you are looking for it, just go and look for a copy, go and paste, and just know where, just be trying your luck. Anyone that changes, thank God. If it does not change, so let me change here. Let me tell you. So it's too much. Say not missing. So let me go back to my 2. Let me change. Let me change here to 3. Let me see 3. This is still okay. So let me change here to 4. No much difference, right? No much difference. Anyways, let me see. Let me change here to, let's see, pink geom color. Now you see that background, how that background is there, right? So let me, if I use white now, so white will make it cleaner. White. So look a bit cleaner. Then anyway, as you keep trying, just look for what to adjust and be checking what you need to do there. Okay, so that's it about your pie chart and your donut charts. Okay, that's your pie chart, your donut charts. I know again, most times if you want to create your let's say for example now, let me look for a data set we can create. We want to show you an easy way again of doing, but that one is when you create your data sets, right? When you create your own data sets, that will be a bit more straightforward. That will be much straightforward. Let me show you another way of doing it, right? Because this one is where you have to build your own, okay? But there are certain situations where you want to plot your own, right? So there's something they call, I think they call it pi. So this is the native one in the, but you must first of all have your count. You must have done your count somewhere. Do we have our count anywhere here? In this our data, where's our count now? Where's our count? So because you need to first of all do your count, isn't it? So once you have done your count, then the next thing, once you have done your count, the next you now call the count inside it, then plot it straight. I think that one will be much easier. But you need to do a count. So let's say, for example, I do maybe count, or let me count. So let's put it in a table, right? This data is what now? Diamonds, isn't it? What was the name of the variable that we used? Which variable did we use? Which variable did we use? Color, okay, color. Okay, we had used color there. Color, right? Good. So if I say view count, can you see it now? Okay. Now for this one, if I have just used my pi, so there's the native one is called pi. So let's say count, let's say count, let's say main, let's call it what now? Color. Let's show that one. Aha, can you see this one now? Can you see how this one has worked now? But you cannot compare it with this other one that we have done. So that's the native one that your normal R has. But this is a more customizable way of doing it. But this is the simple way of also doing the same pie chart. So it all depends on what you want. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Maybe let's see. What about, we have done heat map, right? Have we done heat map? Heat map. You know when you are doing your normal, you know when you are doing your normal correlation, right? When you are doing correlation. But first of all, you need to check that your variables are all quantitative data. Which data sets can we use? Okay, let's see these diamonds. Okay, can you see X, Y, Z? X, Y, Z. So how do I select? So maybe I want to run a correlation of X, Y, Z. Okay, cut. Okay, assuming I had used cut, I think cut would have been easier. Cut. Let me see cut. If we had used cut here, will cut be easier? If I say group by cut, let me see group by cut. Then I now run this. Can you run it here? Group by cut. Let me see. Objects color not found. Okay, sorry. Cut. Another place having color again. Aha. So we now have fair. Okay. But just to go and start changing the colors there. Okay. Maria, you understand the R?
Not really. Well, we're trying.
Yeah, try. Okay. Okay, you know, normally when you want to select your data, right? So for example, in this our diamond. So for example, I want to select this XYZ or maybe price XYZ. Price. So how do I select from price to XY to Z? How do I select this data from this point to this point? How do I select it? If I want to select the data now, because most time when you are doing your own correlation, you must ensure all the variables there are quantitative before you start running them. Okay. So if I want to select from price to Z, how will I select it now? From price to Z, how will I select it? Yes. From price.
Diamond.
Yes, diamonds.
In brackets, the
Yes. So now am I going to call it price? Did I say price to Z? Will this work like this? Say object price not found. Say, I don't know what they are talking about. So rather, what are we going to use? We are going to call. So let's look at it. So this is column what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, isn't it? So it's from where? 8 to where? 10, is it not? So let me call it from 8 to 10. So let's see. Is that it? So price is from 7, right? 7. So price to 10, is it not? So let's, if I have called this data, now if I call this data, if I call this data now, so once if I want to do a correlation, how do you do correlation? Correlate data, isn't it? And that's the correlation. So when you want to plot the chart of it, it's called a heat map. When you want to plot the chart of it, it's called what? A heat map. So there are different charts you can use, right? There's one, but you have to call the library. There's one library you need to call. Is it Coro? Plot. Now, but this one there, you have to install it. You know how to install your packages in case you don't have it. Install dot what? Packages, then correlate plots. I think you can do this. But you have to, I think you have to put in quotation mark. Yes. So in case you don't have it, you have to install it first. Okay. So, but once you have done that, just call the library. Once you call the library, now you can just quickly write plot. What's the name of the data? So I'll call it what? Data. What did he say? Okay. So I have to call data. So method. Okay, let me leave it as. Let me just see. Let me see. Methods. Let me see. Say the matrix is not 1 minus 1. Let me see again. So let's see the data. Okay. I get you now. So let me run it again. You know what we have done here, right? Where I have called it correlation of data, right? So I have to now, I didn't call it any name. So let me take it into it. So correlate. So I'll now call it here. Can you see that? Otherwise, I would have just called it matrix. I would have just called it a matrix and do the correlation of that matrix. So I think this one should work. Yes, this should work. Can you see that? Then you can now, you can just do your customization, right? You can change it the way you like. So you can just put maybe method. I think you have color there, right? Let me see. Color. Can you see that we change it to like a box for you? If I want to make it in a box, then in case I want to put maybe type, I can make it lower. Then yes, so you can do it this way. Then in case I want to put my values there, I can say add coefficients columns. So let me make coefficients. Let me make it white. Let me make it white. So what is it? So can you see how you can build your correlation matrix here? So this is called like your heat map. Like your heat map. Now, even do you know that even in your R, you also have your maps, right? You also have your maps. But in terms of the map that you have there, and even your, okay, there's one there, this thing called, there's one library. Let me see. What's the name of that library? What's the name of that library now? Which library do we used to plot? You can remember the library we used to plot maps. Hey, leaflets. I think it's yes, leaflets. Yes, leaflets. So in case you don't have leaflets too, right? But for your leaflets, most times it's when you are trying to build dashboard in Shiny. Okay, you know the way you have your Power BI dashboard, you can also build your dashboards here in R. Okay, so the tool is called Shiny. Okay, so that's where most times you use this one. But the good part about this is that this your map, this your particular this thing is one of the best maps you can get. For example, you see, as data analyst, when you hear anything state, for example, you want to get the state or you want to get country, the best thing for you is to go and get the data for the latitude and longitude. Can you see that? Once you get the data for the latitude and longitude, you can get exactly the points. Okay, for example, now I can get a map now. Once I get maybe, for example, Lagos, exactly Lagos. What's the latitude and longitude for Lagos? What's the latitude and longitude for Lagos? Or even for example, even for Nigeria as a whole, right? So let me call the library first. So I've called the library now. So let's say leaflet. Okay, let me call that. Now let me add tiles. Yes, map your yes, add tiles, yes. Okay, so let me set the view as so we can zoom it. Yes, so set view. Now I will have to put latitude. Let's say latitude. Nigeria will be what? I think Nigeria is Nigeria. Someone should check the latitude and longitude for Nigeria for me. Latitude and longitude. Nigeria. So Nigeria will be about what now? 9 point something. Let's see. So if you have the exact distance there, so let's say for example, I want to put the latitude and longitude. 9. Okay, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. I think this one will be easier for us. Let me do it this way. I think this will be easier. Now, let's say for example, I put, let me say fit bound. So now I'll put the longitude, the first longitude. Let me put it as 3. Latitude. Let me put that as 4. Longitude 2. Let me set it as 14. And latitude 2. Let me set it as 14. Let me run this and check. Can you see this? Can you see your map? Can you see your Nigeria now? Now, for example, you can even do a marker. For example, Lagos, right? Now, for Lagos, what's latitude and longitude for Lagos? So the same way, let me just copy this one. Let me set view. Let me set view. So let's say Lagos. I think Lagos. Let me see. I think that should be. Let's check. Lagos should be what? Should be 6 point what now? 5244. Longitude will be what now? Longitude should be what now? 3.3792. Okay, then maybe we can zoom it. Let me say zoom it 10 or 5. Let's say in between, let's go 8 there. Then let's put a marker. Add marker. So I want to mark Lagos. So this is the latitude and longitude. So let me copy it out. Copy it out. All right, good. Yes. Is that Lagos? Can you see it now? In fact, the thing is that this particular map is so detailed. For example, you want to look for where is Lagos Business School? Where is Lagos Business School? Where will we find Lagos Business School? Yeah. Where are we going to find Lagos Business School? We don't know where Lagos Business School is.
Lekki Expressway.
Lekki Ekpe
Express.
Expressway. So if I come to Ekpe, this is Ekpe, Lekki Ekpe. Okay, this is Ekpe. So we are looking for Lekki Ekpe Expressway. This is Shangote Do Aja. See Lekki Ekpe Expressway. See Ibrahim Adesanya Estates. Where's Lekki Ekpe Expressway? Ogombo. Ogombo. High tech. If that is high tech now, then this should be Lagos. See your school here. It's not exactly your school.
Yes, sir.
It's not our entrance. This is your roundabout. This is where you make your U-turn. This is your EDC. This is the shape of your school now. You can trace exactly your house, your location, your house. Here on this map, your house. Who wants to try it? Let's check whether you see your exact house. Who wants to try? Is anybody staying around this Ajaxis?
IJ.
Yeah?
IJ.
IJ, let's trace where are you? Let's trace where you are. Is IJ still here?
He's no more here.
There's no more here. Let's trace where are you? Let's see whether we can find how accurate this map is.
Yeah, I stay in Terranex, very close to before ShopRite.
Shangote Do.
Terranex before ShopRite.
And we ShopRite now. You know I have plenty ShopRite.
Oh, okay. The one that say you're going to apply.
That's Shangote Do. Is that the one that Shangote Do?
Yes.
So this Shangote Do. This Novare Mall. Right? So where? You said Terra what?
Terranex.
So after ShopRite.
Before ShopRite.
So before ShopRite.
Total. Yeah, very close to Total filling station.
Total filling station. Okay. Which filling station is this one now? I'm not sure which filling station that one is. You said it's before ShopRite, right? So before.
Yes.
There's a market here, but I'm not sure which market is this.
Yeah, it's before the market.
It's before the market. Okay. Before the market. Okay. So it seems, so if it's before the market now, on the left or on the right?
It's on the right.
So on the right, so before the market should be one of these roads. Okay, so it means that inside the distance there, so it's only the main streets that they put here. Because if they get everything in Nigeria, because Nigeria is very unorganized. You get so for you to, but if it's normal one along the roads, it will be very easy to trace. Very easy to trace. Okay, but even at that, if this is near the market now, but even from the structure it is. So that means if this is the market, are you coming after the market or before the market on this road?
Before the market,
So is it this particular road?
it will be somewhere around in between these two.
One of these two. Because I
Yes.
think from the satellite, they will get exactly the image, right? But they may
Yes.
not get the exact, maybe, street numbering. So that means it should be inside here somewhere. Inside here somewhere. Or let's try, do you have another person that just click along the road that we can see if we can trace it? Along the road. If it's along the road, you'll be surprised. You will just get exactly your location. Anyone in Lekki Gardens?
That's Moses.
Moses. Okay, that would be Lekki Gardens. Okay, wait, let me see. Where am I? Me, I'm where now? Okay, phase 1, Nikon Town, Fola Isibo. You see, like Lekki phase 1 now, they got more details for Lekki phase 1. Where is it going now? Bodilon, Falamo Bridge, no. Falamo Bridge, Victoria, Bodilon, Link Bridge, Freedom Way, Osborne Road, so Osborne Road, so once I enter, so this Osborne Road now, where is, sometimes this reading map, okay, somewhere here, that's, so this is, look at it here, this is where I am, here. So you see, this map is more detailed. I'm not sure Power BI has a map like this, right? Or Python have this as detailed as this. So you see where once you start going a bit more advanced, so this is how you see why most people like using R in terms of this type of analytics, and that's why there's something they call geo. They call it geo. Is it geodata something? Geodata is more like analysis of your geographical data. Okay, so you can actually trace. You can actually trace where it is. Okay, so this is just a bit about your data visualization using what? R. Okay, so I think we can end it here. So what do you want to do? Do we do one more session on R next week, or we should enter Tableau? Or can do since this last
What did you
month,
say?
I was
Sorry,
asking
Dr. Francis, what did you say?
whether we should wrap up this R next week or we should enter Tableau. Or we enter Tableau.
For those that are following, then sorry, Dr. Francis, sorry to bring you back. When are we going to start doing something simple again? Say after Tableau.
Simple.
Sun has entered our eyes. Or can we do Excel like the way you did one time?
Tableau is easy to follow now. Tableau is easy now.
Okay, it's easy to follow. Okay, that's fine.
No, like if you just join, if you miss maybe one class, you just join the middle, just forget about it. Yeah. It just be as if you but if you are used to, maybe if you have been used to coding before then you can easily try and follow what you are doing. But if you don't practice it at all, just forget it. No.
Okay. but there's coding in
Professor, for me,
Tableau.
There will be a bit, yes, a bit of coding in Tableau. Like for example, whatever I'm doing here, I can do it inside Tableau. Okay, we should wrap it up.
Okay.
Okay, we should wrap it up next week. So for the
Yes.
new month now, we enter Tableau. Okay, that's fine. So either next week, either maybe I'll look for 1 or 2 visuals that we have not common visuals. So which common visual have we not seen now? We have seen bar charts, we have seen column chart, we have seen line chart, we have seen maps, we have seen. Okay, maybe I'll try and see if we can do Shiny. Maybe if we can build a dashboard. If we don't build a dashboard, then we'll just do a machine learning project next week. I think that should be.
Okay.
But with that, I'm sure we have covered most things that most of the fundamentals we need in R. Right?
Okay.
Most of the fundamental you have done with R. So whatever you have done with your Python, you see, you can also do it with your R. Also do with your R. So what will be interesting is how you can now just put your data sets. Imagine you have your company sales data, right, in different regions.
Yes.
They
Yes.
now match it on this live. I think that would be interesting to check how to do that. You now match your data on this live listing. On the live listing. But I think this is one of the most detailed map I think I've ever seen.
Is it like to know? Is it like to know which
Okay.
part is having the most?
You say what?
Is it like to know which part of each region of Lagos or something is having the most sales or something?
Sorry, I'm not hearing you well. You say what?
Like to know, like to use this map to know which region of Lagos is having the most sales or something.
Yeah. But because this one is like yes, you can do that. Definitely, you can do that now. As you zoom out now, you can see. Because this one we set it to Lagos. You know, you can also set to Abuja. We can set to Warri, set to anywhere, and still go in details and still check where it is. But this one, because it was set to Lagos, that's why we set it as Lagos here. But otherwise, you can, once you get your whatever state you are from, even your village, you can even set your village and set it there. You can now map it there. Okay, no problem. So I think so next week we'll just try and wrap up with our R, then so that for the new month now we'll now enter Tableau. So the only thing we should now try and be doing, let's try and be downloading our Tableau. Try and download your Tableau. Try and download. But most of the Tableau you are going to download is usually the trial version. So the earlier we download it, so that because if you don't practice it before the expiry date, but usually 30 days, I think. But I think there's a student. Is anybody familiar with Tableau here? Is anybody familiar with Tableau here?
There's a free one. There's a free one.
No, who has been using Tableau? Who has been using Tableau for his normal daily job? Is anybody using his Tableau for his normal daily job?
IG has been using it.
Oh, IJ, you use Tableau?
Yeah, they taught us MBA 20 doing DBTM,
Which one is DBTM?
data management, something we did before we go for internship.
Okay, they taught you guys. Okay, they have taught you guys Tableau, eh? So who will teach us now?
No.
Okay, no problem. But let's just. All right, no problem. But let's try and download the trial version. If you have already downloaded, but for those who have downloaded already, hopefully it has not expired. Okay, you have used. Okay, you have used Tableau. Okay, that's fine. So for those who have downloaded, hopefully it has not expired, right? But otherwise, either you use a new system to download it so that you can work. All right, guys. See you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Francis. Have a great week.
All right. Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Consultant Marie. IJ, where is Moses? Moses, are you there? Bye, everyone. Moses. Mhm. Thanks. Okay, bye. Yeah.